You hatch from an egg as a larvae somewhere in the deserts of Arizona. The moment you break through the thin membrane, you're hit by a wave of chemical signals you don't understand yet but somehow feel instinctively. Your body is soft and pale, almost translucent, and you can't see anything around you. You have no eyes yet, only a mouth that opens reflexively, searching for food. The air feels different here than it did inside the egg. Drier, warmer, filled with vibrations and movements you can sense, but not identify. But within seconds, workers surround you, tapping their antennae across your skin as they check you over. Each tap sends information they're gathering about your health, your viability, your potential role in the colony. They're analyzing chemical markers on your surface, determining whether you're strong enough to be worth the colony's investment. One worker pauses longer than the others, her antennae tracing patterns along your segments. She seems satisfied with what she finds. Then one grabs you with her mandibles and lifts you off the ground. The sensation is disorienting. You've never been moved before, and suddenly you're suspended in the air with no sense of up or down. She carries you through a narrow tunnel that curves downward into complete darkness, the walls pressing close on both sides, and you can feel the texture of packed earth sliding past your body. The temperature drops as you descend deeper. The air becomes more humid, more stable, more controlled. This is the heart of the colony. She drops you into a chamber where other larvae are already waiting, squirming in a pile. You land on top of two of them, and they push back hard, forcing you to roll off to the side. Their bodies are similar to yours, soft, segmented, helpless, but some are larger, meaning they hatched before you. Some are smaller, hatched more recently. You're all competing for the same resources now, though you don't understand that yet. You just know that being pushed feels wrong, so you push back when another larva rolls too close. A worker moves toward you and lowers her head, releasing a drop of clear liquid directly onto your mouth. It's sweet and rich, filled with proteins and sugars your body desperately needs. You swallow reflexively and immediately want more. But she moves on to feed another larva, following a rotation that ensures everyone gets something but no one gets too much. The colony can't afford to waste resources on larvae that won't survive. Around you, workers move between the larvae constantly, feeding some and inspecting others. They're not random in their movements. There's a pattern, a priority system you can't perceive yet. Some larvae get fed more frequently. Some get larger portions. Some get checked more often. The workers know things about each of you that will determine your future in the colony. One larva nearby isn't moving much anymore. Its body has gone still, and it's stopped responding to stimuli. A worker examines it closely with her antennae, then picks it up and carries it away into a different tunnel. You'll never see it again. It will be taken to a disposal chamber, where failed larvae are processed or removed from the nest entirely. More workers arrive with food, and you eat again, then again, then again. Your body starts to swell as the days pass, growing thicker and longer until your skin becomes too tight to stretch any further. You can feel the pressure building inside you, your growing body straining against the confines of your old skin. The outer layer finally splits down your back, and you crawl out of it, leaving the old casing crumpled behind you. Your new skin is soft and vulnerable for several hours before it hardens. During that time, workers guard you more closely, protecting you while you're defenseless. Skip forward 3 weeks, and your body has sealed itself inside a cocoon you spun from silk produced in your own gut. You spent hours spinning it, rotating your body slowly while releasing the fine threads that would protect you during your transformation. Inside, your body is dissolving and rebuilding itself. Your larval organs are breaking down into liquid, and adult structures are forming from clusters of cells that have been waiting dormant inside you since you were an egg. Your nervous system rewires itself. Your digestive system your legs, antennae, and compound eyes develop from tissue that didn't exist before. When you finally tear through the cocoon wall, you're not a larva anymore. You have 6 legs, 2 antennae, and a body divided into 3 distinct parts: head, thorax, and abdomen. Your mandibles are hard now, designed for gripping and cutting. Your compound eyes can see light and movement for the first time. Your antennae can detect thousands of different chemical signals, each one carrying specific information about the world around you. A worker approaches and touches your antennae with hers, passing chemical signals you somehow understand. She's telling you where to go, what to do, how to integrate into the colony's workforce. Then she turns and walks toward a tunnel, so you follow her into the colony. You're 3 weeks old now, and your first job is cleaning. This is what all young workers do. The least specialized, lowest risk work the colony needs done. You walk through the lower tunnels with your mandibles gripping sand grains one at a time, moving them from collapsed sections to disposal chambers near the surface. It's tedious work, but essential. A single, collapsed tunnel can cut off entire sections of the colony, preventing workers from moving food, larvae, or waste where it needs to go. Other young workers pass you constantly, all engaged in similar tasks. Some are repairing walls, some are clearing debris, some are reinforcing weak sections of ceiling. One passage leads you to a chamber where waste is piled up against the walls. Dead ants, dried food fragments, and shed cocoon casings cover the floor in a thick layer. The smell is overwhelming, a mixture of decay and chemicals the colony uses to mark waste areas. The colony needs this cleared, so you grab a piece of something unidentifiable and start dragging it toward the exit tunnel. It's heavier than you expected, and you have to readjust your grip several times to get the right angle. Another worker pushes past you, hauling a dead ant twice her size toward the same exit. She's stronger than you, more experienced at this kind of work. You make several trips back and forth until the pile shrinks to almost nothing. Then a larger worker enters and sweeps her antennae across the walls, checking your work. She's older, more specialized, and her role includes quality control. She touches your antennae briefly with hers, passing some kind of approval signal, then leaves without looking back. You've passed this test. You'll be given more responsibility soon. Your next assignment takes you to the brood chamber, where larvae squirm in organized rows while workers tend to them constantly. The chamber is warmer than the rest of the nest, maintained at a precise temperature that optimizes larval development. You need to feed them, so you move toward the nearest one, and it lifts its head with its mouth already open, ready to receive food. You squeeze your crop a special stomach where you store a liquid foodie in, push a small drop of stored liquid up through your throat. The larva swallows immediately and drops its head back down. Satisfied for now, you move to the next one, then the next, working your way down the row. Then something disturbs the ground above. Vibrations pulse through the ceiling in heavy, rhythmic impacts. Something large is walking directly over the nest. Workers freeze in place with their antennae raised, trying to sense which direction the threat is coming from and whether it's moving away or getting closer. The shaking stops after a few seconds. Whatever it was has moved on. Everyone starts moving again, but faster now, with more urgency. Workers grab larvae and carry them toward deeper chambers where the ceiling is thicker and collapse is less likely. More workers are already arriving to help when you get there. The colony has protocols for every kind of threat, and everyone knows their role without being told directly. Soon, you'll be assigned a permanent role, and once that happens, your job won't change again. The colony will invest in developing your specialization, and you'll become locked into that function for the rest of your life. You're 1 month old now. A large worker moves towards you in the main chamber and touches your antennae with hers, holding contact longer than she normally would. She's transferring complex information, chemical instructions that tell you what comes next. Then she releases you and starts walking toward a tunnel that slopes downward into the deepest part of the nest. This is a passage you've never been allowed to enter before, so you follow her. The passage narrows as you go deeper. The walls are rougher here, less maintained, because this section doesn't see regular traffic. Then it opens into a massive chamber with a domed ceiling that stretches high above you. The space is enormous compared to any other chamber you've seen. The colony's most important resource storage facility. Dozens of ants hang upside down from the surface with their abdomens swollen to the size of grapes, some even larger. These are repletes, living storage units for the colony's food reserves. They're the reason this species survives in one of the harshest environments on Earth. The worker leads you to an empty spot on the ceiling and climbs up beside another replete, then touches your antennae again. You understand what she wants? This is your new role. This is what you were selected for based on characteristics the colony identified in you weeks ago. So you climb onto the ceiling and lock your claws into the rough surface, finding purchase in the tiny crevices and irregularities. Then another worker comes up from below and touches your mouth with hers, releasing liquid directly into it. The liquid is sweet nectar, collected from desert flowers, mixed with other nutrients the colony has processed. You swallow, and your crop starts to expand inside your abdomen. She feeds you again, then again, pushing more liquid in each time. Your abdomen stretches outward as the fluid fills every available space inside you. The sensation is strange, not painful, but deeply uncomfortable as your body distorts beyond its normal proportions. You're twice your original size now, then 3 times. The skin of your abdomen becomes translucent and tight. You hang there with your legs straining to hold the new weight, your claws digging deeper into the ceiling to maintain your grip. Other repletes around you are in different stages of fullness. Some are massive with abdomens bulging like water balloons ready to burst. One nearby is smaller and probably just started like you. You can see the golden liquid inside their bodies, visible through the stretched membrane. You're a replete, Now, you won't leave this chamber again, and your abdomen will only get bigger from here. This is your purpose. This is your contribution to the colony's survival. Skip forward a bit, and you're 3 months old now. Your abdomen has swollen to the size of a small berry. Workers come regularly to feed you more, and every time they do, you accept it and grow larger with each deposit. Your body has adapted to this role, your legs have grown stronger, your grip more secure, your ability to store liquid more efficient. But today, something different happens. A worker climbs up to you and touches your antennae with hers, then taps your mouth repeatedly instead of feeding you. The signal is clear. The colony needs food back. The reserves you've been storing are needed now. So you contract the muscles around your crop and push a small amount of liquid up through your throat. She drinks it quickly, her antennae waving in what might be gratitude or simply confirmation that the transaction is complete. Then she leaves. Another worker arrives a minute later and requests the same thing. Then, another. A line forms below you as more workers climb up to withdraw food from the repletes hanging around you. You give them what they need, feeling your abdomen shrink slightly with each withdrawal. Days pass and workers stop coming to deposit food. They only arrive to take from you now. Draining your reserves little by little, your abdomen shrinks slowly as you give away what you've been storing, deflating like a balloon losing air. Around you, the other repletes are getting smaller too. The massive one hanging nearby is visibly reduced in size now, her once-thought abdomen beginning to sag and wrinkle. The workers are emptying the reserves because something is wrong in the world above. There isn't enough food coming into the colony anymore. The desert is in drought, and the plants that produce nectar have stopped flowering. The colony is drawing on its reserves to survive. Then, one day, a worker climbs up and feeds you again, instead of taking from you. Your abdomen expands slightly as the liquid flows back in, filling some of the space that it emptied. The shortage is over, at least for now. Rain must have fallen above ground. The plants are flowering again. The foragers are bringing food back. The colony can begin rebuilding its reserves. You're 7 months old now, and your abdomen is the largest it's ever been. Your legs ache from holding the weight constantly. A dull, persistent strain that never fully goes away, but you stay locked in place because there's nothing else you can do. You're too heavy to walk anymore. If you let go of the ceiling, you would fall and likely rupture, spilling all your stored food and dying in the process. Your body is stuck here permanently. Then, a thin crack appears in the ceiling above you. At first, it's barely visible, just a hairline fracture in the dried earth. Sand starts trickling down through the split, falling past your face and hitting the floor below. You can feel vibrations through the surface, transmitted through the material into your legs and body. Something massive is moving on the ground above, pressing down on the nest with enormous weight. The crack widens and more sand pours through in a steady stream. Then chunks of dried earth break free and drop past you, hitting the ground with dull thuds that send dust into the air. More cracks spread outward like branches, a web of structural failure spreading across the ceiling. Workers scatter in every direction, running toward the exit tunnels as fast as they can move. Some try to climb up the help, but there is nothing they can do for you because you re-anchored in place by your own weight. You're too valuable to abandon, but too heavy to save. A large section of ceiling collapses completely. 2 repletes fall with it, their swollen bodies hitting the floor hard and rupturing on impact. Golden liquid sprays across the ground in every direction, spreading in pools and rivers across the uneven surface. Workers swarm the spill immediately, drinking desperately to save what they can before it soaks into the dirt and becomes useless. They're trying to salvage the colony's lost reserves, transferring the spilled food back into their own crops so it can be redistributed or stored in surviving repletes. The chamber shakes again, and you brace harder with all 6 legs, digging your claws deeper into the surface above you. Every muscle in your body is strained to its limit. Another replete beside you loses her grip and drops, landing on her back with her legs kicking uselessly in the air. Her abdomen stays intact. She was lucky, but she can't flip herself over because she's too heavy. Her legs can't generate enough leverage to roll her massive body. Workers surround her and try to help, pushing and pulling, but they can't lift her weight either. She'll die there, unable to move, unless the colony can figure out a solution. The shaking finally stops. Whatever was above has moved on. Dust hangs in the air and everything goes quiet except for the workers below, still drinking from the spilled liquid, working frantically before it's lost forever. You survived this time, but the ceiling above you is weakened now. Next time something shakes the nest, you might fall to... Skip forward and you're 10 months old now? The chamber has been quiet for days with only a few workers coming to deposit or withdraw food. Then a chemical signal floods through the air, spreading so fast that every aunt in the chamber reacts at once. It's a danger pheromone, an alarm that means invaders are coming. Workers pour into the chamber from the upper tunnels, moving in frantic patterns as they prepare to defend the colony's most valuable resource. Some climb toward you and the other repletes, forming defensive positions on the ceiling and walls around you. They're creating a living barrier between you and whatever is coming. Army ants flood through the entrance tunnel in a solid wave. Their bodies are smaller and darker than your nestmates, built for speed and aggression rather than specialized labor. They don't slow down or hesitate. They just swarm across the floor and start climbing immediately, heading straight for the repletes. Your workers meet them at the walls and fighting breaks out everywhere. Mandibles lock together. Beides. Fal. The air fills with alarm pheromones from both colonies. One army ant breaks through the defensive line and climbs directly toward you. A worker intercepts it halfway, grabbing its head with her mandibles and pulling it away from the ceiling. They fall together, locked in combat, and hit the ground hard. Then neither of them moves again. Another army ant moves toward a replete 3 spots away from you and bites into her abdomen, puncturing the membrane. Liquid sprays out as she deflates, spilling her entire reserve onto the floor below. Her body convulses and then goes still. The army ants below immediately begin drinking the spilled food, accomplishing their objective even though they can't carry the replete away. Then the army ants suddenly retreat, pulling back through the entrance tunnel and carrying whatever food and larvae they managed to grab with them. They've taken losses, but they've also successfully raided your colony's resources. Your workers don't chase them. They regroup around the chamber instead, checking for more threats with their antennae raised, treating wounds, and assessing the damage. Several workers are dead. One replete is completely drained. The colony will need time to recover from this attack. You're 1 year old now, and the colony is starving. The drought has returned, worse than before, and it's lasted for months. Workers arrive constantly, tapping your antennae and requesting food from you. The colony needs everything you have, so you give them what you can, pushing small amounts of liquid up through your throat and into their mouths. You feed 10 workers, then 15, then more than you can count as they keep coming back. Days pass, and the requests don't stop. The pressure inside you releases as your segments pull closer together, and you get smaller and smaller with each withdrawal. You're half the size you were a month ago now. Your abdomen, once tight and full, now hangs loose and wrinkled. Around you, the other repletes are shrinking too. The reserves are running out because there's nothing growing above ground anymore. The desert has become completely inhospitable. Then a worker climbs up to you, but she doesn't request food. Instead, she grabs one of your legs and pulls hard, trying to rip you free from the ceiling. The signal is clear. You're being reassigned. You resist instinctively, your claws digging in, but she pulls harder and other workers climb up to help. Your claws finally release and you fall, tumbling through the air before hitting the ground and landing on your side. The impact doesn't hurt, but everything feels wrong because you haven't moved from that spot in over 10 months. Your legs are weak and shaky from disuse. The muscles atrophied from hanging motionless for so long, but they still work. So you start walking. The sensation is strange, walking again after so long as a storage unit. Your body feels light now, almost hollow, all your reserves depleted. The workers lead you through passages you haven't seen since you were young. The tunnels feel different now, smaller somehow, or maybe you're just perceiving them differently after so long in the massive replete chamber. The tunnel opens into a staging area where other ants are preparing to leave the nest. You join them and wait. You're not a replete anymore. The colony drained you because they need workers who can move. And now you're going above ground where almost nothing is left to find. Skip forward a bit and you're 1 year and 1 month old now. You've been foraging for 3 weeks and found almost nothing worth bringing back. The desert surface is mostly dirt and dried plant stems, with very little food anywhere. The landscape is harsh and unforgiving. Temperatures swing wildly between day and night, and there's no shelter from the sun or predators. Today, you walk farther than usual, pushing beyond the normal foraging radius because the areas closer to the nest have been picked clean. You've passed 2 workers heading back to the nest with their mandibles empty, so they didn't find anything either. The colony is sending out more foragers every day, desperate for any resources that might exist. Then you spot something ahead. A dead beetle lying on its back with its legs curled inward. It's not fresh, probably dead for several days, but it's still food. Protein the colony desperately needs. You move toward it carefully and check the area around it for threats. You've learned to be cautious that food is often claimed by other predators or scavengers, and fights over resources can be deadly. Nothing else is moving nearby. You need to bring this back to the colony. So you grab one of the beetle's legs with your mandibles and start dragging it backward toward home. The beetle is heavy, much heavier than anything you've tried to carry before, and progress is slow. Then a shadow passes over you. You freeze in place and stop moving completely. This is a trained response, Movement attracts attention. Stillness might save you. The shadow circles once and gets larger as it comes back around. It's descending. It lands a few body lengths away with its head tilted to one side, watching you closely. A bird? Probably a roadrunner or similar predator that feeds on insects and small arthropods. You stay frozen and don't release the beetle. Maybe it hasn't seen you. Maybe it will lose interest. The bird hops one step closer, then another. Its eye is fixed on you now. There's no escape. It lunges forward and its beak stabs down, catching you across the middle of your body and lifting you into the air. The pressure is immediate and crushing. The bird adjusts its grip and squeezes tighter, crushing your body between its beak. You can feel your exoskeleton cracking, your internal organs compressing. Something inside you breaks and your legs stop moving. Pain signals flood your nervous system and then fade as your body shuts down. The bird opens its beak and you fall. You hit a rock and don't move again. Your body lies there in the sun, motionless, another casualty of the harsh desert environment. By tomorrow, you'll be dried out completely, your tissues desiccated by the relentless heat. Just another piece of food for whatever finds you next. Your life lasted just over a year. You served as a cleaner, a nurse, a replete, and finally a forager. You contributed to your colony's survival in multiple ways, storing food during times of plenty and searching for resources during times of scarcity. Your death means nothing to the colony as a whole. You're just one worker among thousands. But your efforts, combined with all the others, kept the colony alive through one more season. Life as a honeypot ant might be rough, but there's another animal out there that has it way worse. Trust me, it's wild.